Are you getting the results you want from social media? Today we're going to talk about 4 things that you should avoid in order to make sure that you're getting the results you want. So you want to make social media work for you? There are 4 things you can avoid. I'm going to go into them one at a time. The first is avoid always talking about yourself, talking about your business, talking about your products, and being that annoying salesperson who does nothing but try to sell you something. People come to social media because they want to see what their friends are doing. They want to see what their family's up to. They want to see what's happening in the world around them. And they're open to seeing things that may be beneficial that you have to offer, content-wise, product, service, that kind of thing. But if you're constantly talking about yourself and your product and your company, that's really going to turn people off. So be out there with stuff that's not just about you. Give helpful information. Put stuff out there. Share funny videos. Share educational and informative videos and articles. Put stuff out there that is not just about you, so that your audience sees that as you're being helpful and not necessarily just trying to sell them all the time. So the number 2 thing you can avoid is inconsistency. With social media, consistency is definitely the key. You want to make sure that you are out there on a regular basis. What you don't want to have happen is somebody comes to your LinkedIn profile and they see that you posted something yesterday, and then they see that you posted something 2 months ago. You don't want them to get the feeling that you just kind of hang out there whenever you think about it, but that there's actually you're paying attention. You want to be a part of this social atmosphere there, that environment, wherever it is that they're doing, whether that's LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or wherever you might be. So be consistent, whether that is number of times a day, whether that is when each week you put something out there or what time during the day. Great things that come out like emails or videos or things like that are consistent. They hit, every Tuesday afternoon you got a new video that's coming out, or every Thursday morning you have a new blog that hits. With social, as far as posting, consistent. Be consistent. Make sure that you're not just thinking about it once every few weeks and putting some stuff out there just because you think you should, or you sit down and spend an hour posting, sharing, liking, doing all those things without doing it for another 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever it is. So be consistent when you post. The third thing relates to number 2, but it's more specific to the messaging. Avoid being inconsistent with your message. So not just in the time and place and when you do what you do, but the message that you put out there needs to be consistent. You need to be known as whatever it is that you do, that you are the best at that thing. And so being consistent and clear with your message is a piece that we really help folks with at Superhero Marketing, Messaging, Marketing, and Sales, is that we try to get folks to really clarify that message so that when they're putting stuff out there, it's consistent. People don't get confused. They don't know what you're talking about. They don't know which thing that you're talking about or who you help or what you provide, that kind of thing. If you're changing either the audience you're talking to or the product that you're talking about or how you're presenting that message every time you put it out there, you're going to cause confusion, and therefore people are going to ignore you and not pay attention. So not only avoid inconsistency in just time and place and effort in the posting, but avoid inconsistencies relative to the message that you're putting out there. So finally, the 4th thing that I want you to avoid in order to get the results you want from social media is when you're sharing other people's stuff or even your own articles or whatever, don't just accept the standard templated thumbnail and description that's a part of the post that you might be sharing, or the article or the video that you might be sharing. If a content page that maybe you're sharing from another person's blog or even your own page is done right, they usually have a little thumbnail and a little description about that article or something like that. So what you want to do is not just accept that as default, because It's going to show, depending on which platform you're on, sometimes they show a little funky stuff. Particularly recently, I'm not a big fan of Facebook's presentation of articles where they now split the screen and you have kind of a small picture on the one side and the words on the other side. So choosing a picture to go along with it, and then also adding your own words to the post. So you don't just want to share, hey, here's this, top 10 things to make a better email subject line from HubSpot. You want to have your little comments before that. So you say, hey, I love it when HubSpot puts these things out. They do it every year. It's 2020 trends to consider. Take a look at this article. I think you'll love it. That gives that personal touch. It makes it relevant for them. It makes it, it kind of gives you a little bit of personal connection in there, as opposed to just a blank thing that says top 10 things, trends in 2020 from HubSpot. Putting your personal touch on it is how you really personalize, because it is called social media. So you want to be social. You want to be a part of it. It's not just about putting stuff out there to put stuff out there. So those are your 4 things to avoid. Pay attention to those things. Don't do those things, but do the others. And certainly if you have any questions or concerns or thoughts or need some help with that clarifying of your message as to what you're putting out there, I'd love to talk to you, love to chat. YouAreTheSuperhero.com.